Call the North Liberty City Council meeting for July 23rd, 2024 to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
We're going to go Leibold,
Here.
Park,
Here.
Sittig,
Here.
Smith, Wason.
Here. Moving on down our agenda, which is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The agenda is approved. Moving down to item 4, which is the consent agenda. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about? All right, we'll have a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving down to item 5, which is public comment. Is there any members of the public who wish to make a comment? Seeing no public, we will move on to number 6, the city engineer report.
Thank you. We've got a project I wanted to update you in the design phase. That's the North Liberty Road Trail project. We have been looking at alternate routing options for the trail alignment along the Belknap property, looking at different ways to stay within the right-of-way and not need any temporary construction easements on the property. We looked at a bunch of different options and ways to do that, and we're settling in on a preferred option that we're trying to finish up this week. We'll issue that to city staff for internal review, and then follow up on what we think the best option would be to do that along the roadway. Update on a couple construction projects. Centennial Park is started. If you've been out there, they've got a lot of the site fence up and construction entrance and a bunch of the non-flashy stuff, but it looks really good, which is nice because the park's going to be open, and they've set up a good perimeter, which is important to keep everybody out and keep everybody safe. So it looks really good. Fox Run Pond Trail, the grading for the trail all through the park is complete. There's a rock base down for them to pave. So paving work is probably going to start here in the next week, 10 days, as they'll go through and get that trail paved and the surround for the new playground and stuff. So good progress there. Streets and maintenance facility, interior remodel. All the cabling and wiring is done. The ceiling tiles are in. The mechanical unit is up and running. The walls have been primed and ready for their first coat of paint. So there's a couple things left with heat pumps and interior doors and things like that, but that is still on track to be done before they're contractually obligated to. And last one, Forever Green Road signalization. It is underway. There's not a lot of work going on at the corners. They're doing a lot of prep work for utilities and conduits and all the underground things that they'll need for that traffic signal. So those are a couple updates.
Thanks, sir. Any questions?
The Penn Street on the west side of the interstate.
Yep.
Is there any progress with? I mean, I guess what's the status of?
Since we last met, there were a couple things they had left, which is like final grading of the ditches, pavement marking, signage, all those sort of things. Right now, they're down to the grading and the seeding along the side of the roads. And we do get rain about every 2 or 3 days, and it gets it all wet again. And so that's the holdup right now. I guess I should say there is a little bit of field fence that they still have contractually they need to get done. But between the field fence and they got to get in there and get that graded and seeded and get all the matting down. So there was a progress meeting today. We have a progress meeting every 2 weeks. The contractor is pretty certain they're going to have the road open by the end of next week regardless.
Great.
So that's where we're at.
Thank you.
I did drive over the other Penn Street project. That is smooth.
Yeah,
It is really.
it is.
Moving on to the city administrator report.
Okay, thanks, Councilor Wason. That Penn Street project is smooth, and it did serve as a nice speed bump there for a while. So just remind folks to slow it down a little bit on Penn Street. It can, when you don't have to tap the brakes for the massive bumps, people can get going a little quick. Just a couple things on my end. First, tonight's agenda, as you know already, is pretty light. You can consider tonight kind of the start of your summer break. Then we have 3 weeks until our next meeting. So we have a fifth Tuesday in July. So we have a little bit of a break here. But gearing up for August, I wanted to point out a few things. We're going to have, of course, your social service applications are scoring are due July 31st, I believe we said that was to Angie, so that she can compile that data. We'll have the food pantry at one of the meetings in August to give us an update on their fundraising and I believe make another request to the City Council for some funding for that project. And then we should have our goals report that we did a couple months back ready for your approval. That report has just taken a little bit longer to generate, but we'll have that ready for an official approval. It's nothing new, of course. It's stuff you've all agreed on before, but this will formalize that. And then a couple ordinances one related to stormwater and one related to sewer, some sewer discharge regulations that we'll be bringing in front of you here next month. So the point of all that is just know that we'll have some meatier agendas coming up. And then lastly, I'd just like to introduce our special projects coordinator, Angie McConville, who is going to introduce to you an intern that we've had here and have been working with. So Angie, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I wrote a little script because I tend to get really wordy, so I'm going to stick with this. Last year, the University of Iowa's Multicultural Initiatives Research Team received a $50,000 grant from the Community Engaged Scholars Program to begin a one-year collaboration with North Liberty. This covered the cost of the MCI team working with me and Outreach and Equity Coordinator Micah Ariel James to develop and deploy 4 brand new workshops for community center employees. Hire and I participated in those as well. The basis of the workshops were very introspective, focusing on personal responsibility as we interact with each other. Topics touched on bridging difference when we have differing opinions and how we identify our internal dissonance and how we control how we react to those, our defensive reactions. The goal being healthy, productive communication with others. Funds from the grant were also designated to cover the cost of a part-time summer intern to take on some coordination steps that Micah and I didn't really have time or capacity to take on. So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce Charlotte Brookins. She is a library and information science graduate student. For the past year, she worked in strategic communications with the University of Iowa College of Liberal Arts and the Iowa City Public Library. So she's been wonderful to work with and have her assistance this summer. Her summer is almost coming to an end. We were going to be here at an earlier meeting and then storms. But I do want to thank her for her time this summer and the MCI team for the work on the grant. Her deliverables to us was a quick reference pamphlet for staff and some more reference information for my intranet training page, which I'll send out to everybody when it's ready. This week, she is serving as our third-party person to gather feedback about the workshop from participants to help us figure out what resonated and maybe the things that we need to work on. What's next? So the university MCI team is pursuing additional grants to continue this work between July 2025 and June 2028. And at that point, we really want to actually incorporate you guys and the neighborhood ambassadors and the general public during those 3 years. But over the next year, we're not going to take a break. We're going to do the 4 workshops again with a different group of employees who weren't able to make it to the first session. So I just wanted to make a formal announcement and thank Charlotte for her time and her effort.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, moving on to the mayor report. He left me nothing to report. Moving on to city councilor reports. Anyone have anything?
Blues and Barbecue went off with nary a hitch. Thanks to everyone who came out. Thanks to all the volunteers. Councilor Wason, I know, filled at least 2 or 3 volunteer spots, so thank you for that, Brian. And everyone else who came out, so we appreciate that. I also attended the Joint Entities meeting last week. There was a discussion about the pop-up metro train that we are considering bringing to the area. That was really interesting. And then the Colony Acres ribbon cutting for their new building was really nice. So that's what I had.
I was going to comment on those same things, so I just will not need to do that. Also, I'll be stepping in for the mayor to welcome Quick Star into the community on the 25th at 11 a.m. And I've been learning a little bit about that company, and we should be glad that they're in town. They take care of their people, and there's definitely some screaming deals going on for their grand opening. I mean, cheap stuff. So worth a look. And that's all I got.
I'll jump in here. Just a few comments. Angie and Charlotte, thank you for joining us tonight, and hope your experience was good this summer. So thank you for your efforts there. From a regional perspective, I attended Soul and Beef Days, and I bring that up just because I really enjoyed it and haven't been there in a few years. So it's good to have good neighbors to our northeast, I believe, and just wanted to thank those folks for a great weekend. Back to the Blues and Barbecue. I attended, didn't get an opportunity to volunteer. So Brian, thank you for jumping in. But I did want to say congratulations and thank you to everyone who contributed, the volunteers and the attendees. From the feedback that I've gathered, it was a consistent theme was that it was just done right. So when you hear that kind of feedback from that type of event that's all day and the effort that goes into it, that it's just done right, that to me is a really high compliment to pass along to those who contribute and volunteer for that event. So thank you to that. I wasn't able to attend the Colony Acres. I did go to the CEO meet and greet and met the Green State Credit Union new CEO, Vic Israni. So I was very impressed with the attendance of that and him as a contributing member to the community and just where they're headed. It's very exciting to have an employer like Green State in the area. And then I attended the Joint Entities meeting as well. Back to the comment on Quick Start, just real quick. It's really exciting to see and hear all of these ribbon cuttings, the Colony Acres, the Quick Stars, the Palestra. It shows the forward thinking of North Liberty and that we're open for business. And so that's a really exciting time of year and continue to keep that momentum going forward, I think is important to recognize when those things happen. So thank you for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. I've also been to Quick Star, enjoyed it immensely. They have good chicken, so if anybody wants to stop out there. And then just on the city website, if people are interested, the Neighborhood Ambassador Program is taking some applications for people who are interested. But I think it's the last day to sign up is the 26th, which is coming up. Moving to item 10, Sugar Creek Lane Project. Resolution number 2024-81, a resolution approving the purchase of a temporary construction easement from J&T Property Management LLC for the Sugar Creek Lane Maintenance Project. Give a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Anything you need to, it was just like,
more of the same, and
Okay.
we'll have one more, we got confirmation of today, but I don't have it in hand, so we'll drag this out for one more meeting.
Are they all going to be 50 feet?
They are all going to be 50 feet wide, whether we need it or not.
Okay.
well, we appreciate all those folks helping out. Roll call, please.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Sittig.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to item 11, Alcohol in Public Places Ordinances. Second consideration of ordinance number 2024-06, an ordinance amending chapters 45 and 47 of the North Liberty City Code of Ordinances regarding the consumption and sale of alcohol in authorized public places. I have a motion for the second consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Sittig,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye.
Second consideration passes. Moving to item 12, old business. Any old business? Any new business? Item 14, we'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?